tying in football and business, what would you say are maybe the 3 biggest lessons that you took from your entire football career that have translated into you building your business today?
Discipline, persistence, perseverance. I think, you have to be disciplined. You have to be able to do the same thing every day that makes you successful.
I got 99 problems, but what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scalers Only Show, where we are featuring my man Dee Miller today, and I got my man Brian Keenan, Mr. Avishek Bobby Barua, where we talk about business, real estate, lifestyle, and everything in between. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, man.
So, because we haven't been very professional before this, so to be slightly professional, let's if you could let people know just a little bit about who you are and just a little bit about your story, and then we'll kind of dig in.
My name is Dee Miller from Springfield, Ohio. Graduated from Springfield South in 1994. Came up to Ohio State, obviously, to play football. Played here in the Cooper era. Plays 94 to 99.
Yeah, that was the Cooper era.
Yeah, 94 to 99, and had an opportunity to play pro ball. Got injured. Came back, finished school, and I think one of the reasons why you come to Ohio State is for the connections. And after I got my degree, man, just came in the city of Columbus and tried to find my way in corporate America.
But you're not really corporate right now.
Not corporate. It was, as I was leaving there, I was thinking corporately.
Yeah.
And then, you get into corporate and you try a few things out, and then you say, okay, let me try this entrepreneurial piece out.
There it is.
And you transition to that. But, I had to try the corporate world first to see, what that was like. My whole life, I never had a job. You know what I mean? It was always football. So when football was over with, it was, okay.
All right, what now?
What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I compared it to a candy eating contest, man. I did a job at Yellow Freight, and I was like, that's not for me. I had to spit that candy out. You know what I mean? That's not for me. It was, I was standing on the dock. It was windy. It was like, I just didn't want to do that. At that time, pharmaceutical sales was very, very popular.
Still is a little.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but then it was, it was that thing. Everybody was in.
I wasn't going to watch
sales.
That, like being a pilot, that's what the thing for.
Exactly.
Like, all glorious and.
Tried that. I had no experience, so that was hard for me to do. And man, I got my degree in sociology. Ended up working at a group home. Man, it was Ohio Youth Advocate Program, on the corner of Cleveland and Manchester. Right in the,
Don't we go to property on Manchester?
Yeah.
I think we do. I've never been there.
What I'm talking about.
I don't go.
But yeah, man, did that. Went to AT&T, and then eventually found my way with State Farm, and started that January 1st of 2006.
Sure.
Damn.
Yeah.
So long time. So let's go back to the beginning, man. So you were an elite athlete, hell of a receiver for the Ohio State Bucks. You come from Springfield. Were you always a Buckeye fan growing up?
Man, I wouldn't say I was a Buckeye fan to say that, but we always watched them. My father and I. I just used to like to watch all teams, and then as you get to playing, and then teams start recruiting you, and then you start realizing the possibility of where you can go. We were familiar with Ohio State. My dad was a big Ohio State fan, basketball and football. So we was pretty familiar with. And I just, when you're young and you want to play, it's crazy because you can say I want to play in the NFL, but you don't know what college you want to go there to get to that leap. So, as recruiting started, Ohio State obviously, jumped up to the forefront of things based on, I think, proximity.
In Ohio.
And, being an Ohio kid and life after football.
I feel like
someone else. Oh, wasn't that Braxton Miller from Springfield?
Yeah.
Are you guys related?
Yeah, Braxton. We're not related.
Same last name.
Family is very, very close.
Oh, then you're related.
No,
Same thing. You're not
I went to school with his uncles and his aunt, so they live like
cool.
6 doors down
Sure.
from me. My aunt and his mother was very, very close at one time, so we were very, very familiar with each other. But yeah, he's another kid that came out of Springfield that's doing really well.
That's awesome.
So your first couple years, you had some playing time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back on my memory because
Yeah.
I was a huge fan as a kid.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, and but I remember specifically the 1998 team, and that was like your breakout year, right? At Ohio State. Like, who was the other receiver back then? Because
David Boston.
D. Boston.
Yeah.
Yoked.
And, he wasn't yoked back then, no.
Nah, I mean, he was put together then. He didn't even. What happened to him in NFL? I don't think he necessarily needed all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in. As a freshman, 6'2", 210, 215.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For a receiver, right?
Yeah, that's what you need right there. But yeah, man, it was a good time playing on the opposite side of him. I think, we were. I feel like when I was in high school, it was that, I wouldn't say 3 years or a cloud of dust, but we wasn't throwing a lot. We had a Chris Card and Joey went to the league, and then
You got Terry. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then David and then I just felt like we were, kind of like the pioneers to that push. You know what I mean? Then you had Kenyon, Reggie, Santonio. and then it just all caught on fire, even to now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So feel like being a part of that legacy that started in the mid '90s.
It is wild thinking about some of the
I've
players
never
you
thought
probably
about
played
that, but
with.
we're kind of Ohio State is kind of like receiver U at this point.
Yeah.
And eventually it was like you said,
Running
Galloway.
back, And so it was, you got Galloway and
The Jet.
now to see what these guys are doing now, man, it's amazing.
So let me ask you this, man. Like back then,
Now, what year did you graduate?
I graduated high school in '94 and then graduated Ohio State in '99.
I missed 1 year there.
I was done playing in '99. I didn't graduate in 2001. I was on a 7-year program.
I saw you on campus my freshman year.
No problem with that. I did fine.
dude, I knew if I came home after a year 4 years, I'll whip my ass.
Victory lap.
But that breakout year, did you always believe that you were going to the NFL, or did you believe that man, this could happen, or was there a belief system there? Walk me through that.
Well, it was a dream of mine, and then, my first couple years at Ohio State didn't go nearly as well as I had planned, so the dream kind of fades a little bit.
Did you have a plan B at the time, or were you
No, it was football.
So someone else football's not doing that or nothing.
You know what I mean? Ball or die.
And you're like, shit, I don't want to die right now. What do I do now?
So the dream kind of faded because it was just like, I'm not playing, so it's going to be hard to go to the NFL. And, you think about maybe transferring, or you think about, maybe football's not for me and things like that. And, but, I'm glad I persevered. You know what I mean? Because it was a really valuable life lesson for me, because elementary, Pee-wee was easy, middle school was easy, high school was easy. Now I'm coming across my first big obstacle, man, I'm not the best athlete on the field by far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's humbling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really humbling, and you have to find a way to get better or throw in the towel. And no one wants to throw in the towel. You don't want to be older in life and say, man, I wish I wouldn't have quit it. You know what I mean? So it was basically, how can I figure out to make this situation better for me? And had to figure that out.
Because you had an injury your freshman year?
Yeah, I had an injury. I broke my tibia in the 3rd grade. Very first time I played football. Came up to Ohio State my freshman year. Had a minor knee scope, had some loose bodies floating around in my knee.
Terry's done some of those.
Junior knee.
Yeah.
My junior year, tore my PCL, and then with Green Bay, I for my meniscus, all in the same knee.
How hard is it to overcome those injuries when you when you have to go with that kind of speed? Like, how much is it like sitting in the back of your head every time you're going to, you know what I mean, going to make a move or going to get tackled?
Just got fixed.
I think like injuries. I mean, they're you know, some are obviously more serious than others, but I mean, I think me having that experience of rehabbing at an early age when I broke my tibia in the third
3
grade.
years old. For third grade, yeah.
So, you know, when it happened to me in college, I feel like I can go back on that experience. Like every time I hit that knee experience in my career, I always felt like I can go back to when it happened like in my third grade and just kind of just get through it. You know, because at the end of the day, in the NFL is business. You know, it's business. It's, you know, of course I was good to play, but I was damaged goods. You know what I mean? And, you know, you can have someone that is not as good as you, but healthy, right? And
got longevity.
They're going to have the longevity. But I just think when you're going through the moment, it's basically, you know, you're putting everything into this to try to overcome this injury so you can get back on the field as soon as possible.
So that senior year, so had a breakout year, started to get recruited. I mean, you had David Boston beside you. Great year. And then you got drafted.
Yep.
What was that like?
It was, you know, the process. You know, you talking, you know, was I thinking about going to the NFL and the
league?
And the you know, I said
like the draft
dream kind of,
league.
it kind of, yeah, for real, not for long, actually,
Not for long.
It was fun, obviously, because I'm like, you know, as a kid, I'm like, man, I can't believe like this is happening, like just going through all the process.
And the Packers too, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. So, you know, going to the Senior Bowl, going to the Combine, you know, visiting with teams, you know, you just kind of like, man, this is really happening. And, you know, in the draft, I was projected to go rounds 2 to 4. And ended up getting drafted in the 6th round. You know, just my knee became an issue. When I went to the Combine, it was swollen. And, you know, and it kind of validated, you know, you go through all these different tests at the Combine, the side backs, and, you know, you put your left quad on and you pump it hard and you put your right quad on it. And then, you know, obviously my right quad was weaker than my left quad. So I was like, why is that? So then I had to go into my file, look into my knee history, and you know, unfortunately, I felt like it validated what a lot of teams thought because I tore my meniscus in camp, you know, and
almost treat you like a lab rat.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it's you know, we know that you're good enough, but we're not going to draft too high for you because of this knee. And you know, after that happened, it was like, yeah, thank God we spent the 6th round pick on him. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't a lot of money invested in me, being a later round guy like that. But
Still got picked.
Yeah, still got picked.
Yeah.
You know, so I was mad on one end because I went the 6th round, and the later you go, the more money that you lose, and you know, your ego, you're like, man,
I'm better
that guy, yeah, all these guys that went past me, and then on the other hand, you're thankful. You know, because, you know, 315 guys to get drafted, you know, that had the same dream as you growing up. So, you know, it was cool. Good experience. Green Bay was like Ohio State, big
100%.
tradition. You know what I mean? So it was a good experience.
You already know I'm gonna ask. How was Brett Favre?
Brett was cool, man. He's getting a lot of bad pub right now. He's getting a lot of bad pub, but you know, at the time, I thought he was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing off the field, but you know, he was the, you know, he set the tone, man. He was joking, first person to joke in the morning, you know, joking all through practice. You know, what was really funny is like getting up there and you see like these wide receivers, Robert Brooks, Antonio Freeman, and you know, you see the top of their fingers, you know, looking like
just
this because
off.
You know, just catching that ball, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? The hands is all, you know, crooked at the top. And one time I caught a dig and a dig route, and I caught the point of the ball with my bicep, and man, like 2 hours, like my whole shoulder was like blue from like here to my bicep. Man, he threw like a hard ball.
Like a fastball, basically.
Just
damn.
Man, it was.
It kind of looked like that a little bit.
Yeah, up
Dude,
there,
he was not
up there,
that bad.
yeah.
He was bullying and hurt himself, and I was like, "Oh, my arm's falling off! I'm your robotic arm."
I did a lot of curls that morning. I did some pull-ups. Okay, did 10 sets pull-ups. It was at a hotel gym, and they had 30-pound weights. Right?
Last week he was talking about beanie. Yeah, look at this. It's really bad, right? Talking about these
It
guys.
might have been darker then. It might have been darker. It probably got better.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. He was the OG gunslinger, though. Really.
Yeah. He. When you have a chance to just be around someone on that level, and even though I didn't play with him for a long time, just as far as like the respect and how he can't handle himself, how he went to work every day, and it's you got to be a different type of guy to lead a franchise.
To lead a group of grown ass men.
And I mean, he was the face of the franchise, man. So he definitely was someone that was great. And to see him go into the Hall of Fame, just to be a blip,
right,
a part of that, and just seeing that that was a cool experience as well.
Did he wear Wranglers to practice? I'm joking.
No, but he used to wear like these beat up hats, like right here, with like the bill, like all this
Just
like
sprayed
just sprayed out. Yeah.
But that used to be the cool.
That was his thing. That was his thing. He probably wore some Wranglers.
If he's wearing those hats,
he's getting paid, most definitely.
Yeah, you do what you want.
How long were you in the league for?
Man, so good question. So I got drafted in 2 years, man.
2 wow.
2 years, and that was never on a official roster like that. So technically 0 years of experience of playing in the NFL.
But you were in it for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, so you're, when you. You go into a team, office, they'll have guys, on the street, who are guys that have experience that are not signed. And, you know what I mean? It's just, and, you get opportunity maybe in the off season, someone will sign you, come in, be a part of the off season workout and go into the camp. And, a lot of times, for me, obviously, wasn't able to make it past camp. So then you get, released again, and then, the cycle starts next season.
Disheartening too,
man.
So that when you kind of thought like other options.
Every time you get signed, I mean, you're like,
yes, and then
exactly,
yes. Messing with the mentality.
exactly. So I still don't watch Hard Knocks Live. Never watched it. Never watched it.
Just
like
bring back
memories. Getting cut. Man, getting cut.
I mean, during all that, like how long did it take?
Getting cut, man, is not a. It's the worst experience. I got cut 3 times.
That's like your life, like what you're planning on too. Like everything's set on that.
Everything's set on that. Everything is like, and then when you get cut, it's like, now what?
You start over again, or do I do something else? So, and which was the final time that you said, you know what, I'm gonna start looking into some different options? Or
that was a good question. I was down. Y'all remember the XFL?
Yeah. Did you play in the XFL?
Man, I was.
He hate me.
Yeah. So I was when that league first came out. I was. A guy by the name of Kippy Brown who recruited me out of Tennessee. And I was almost going to Tennessee, but we had a really great relationship. So after things didn't work out in the NFL and they started XFL, so he was the head coach of Memphis and called me. It's like, man, you got away from me once. I can let you get back again. Yeah. So it was Memphis, and it was February. Man, it was freezing cold. My knee was killing me. I think they were paying like $26,000, and
that's like that first year.
Man, I was just in my hotel room, and I was just like, man, I think I'm done. I called my agent, and then I called my mom, and called the head coach Kippy. Hey, thanks for this opportunity, but I think I can go back to Columbus and make more than $26,000. You know what I'm saying?
And not get beat up.
How old were you at that time?
So it's 24. It's probably 25, 26.
Yeah, a lot of experience and stuff at a young age.
It's like I remember I was 25. I mean, like, damn, that's a decision to make.
Oh my God,
At that point, you're probably still thinking, man, I can still climb the ranks and do all this.
Yeah.
But then you pivoted, and I mean, you said it yourself. I can make more money going back to Columbus, Ohio, than I can making $26,000 a year. And so, you pivoted.
Man. I
became a businessman.
Got to. And I think, it's a very hard transitioning from that world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people understand the mental magnitude in trying to
recreate
put your dream down that you've been chasing since you were 8 years old, and now you're 25, 26, trying to find out who you are, what you like. You're insecure. Do people really like me, or do they like what I did? Do they want to hang around me? Is because of what that I did?
He's a football player.
Exactly. So it was just hard mentally, like getting through all that. But I mean, I think a lot of players suffered through that phase. I think sometimes maybe more, it may last longer for some people. But eventually you just got to pick yourself up and say, hey, it's over with. What can I do now? And, I think that's the attitude that I had to take.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's a lot of shit to be, because you're basically like, I've been doing this for 25 years. Now what? How do I start over? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's and you start to see, a lot of players when they get done with the league, divorce rate is high, right?
Yeah.
Money's gone.
Yeah.
Drugs, alcohol, it's a lot of things that, because you got to think about it, like,
you're given all this stuff and you get taken away pretty much.
Well, I just think once you've been in the NFL and you have 2 or 3 years of making that money, you know what I mean? You get $5, $10, $2 million in 6 months. That just messes your reality up, right? Yeah. So when you come out,
especially when you're young, you see that all the time. You haven't experienced anything else yet.
And then you come out and you really work your first 40-hour job, right? And it's
like, wait, what's this check? Wait, what?
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's hard for a lot of people to deal with. You know what I mean?
Hey man, I think you forgot another zero on this.
I always say it's, go through the journey, go through the different levels. It's not like Super Mario 2 where you can just jump levels and go from level 3 to 7 or 8 or
you can?
Whatever it is.
Wait, what?
But
Super Mario can do that?
2, Super Mario 2. When you get a certain amount of money and then you start investing it, or you get a certain amount, your brain is adjusted to this amount. Even though it's percentages, like someone that invests, let's say someone that invests a fund of $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
If you gave them $1 billion, even though it's the same percentages and the same moves they're going to be able to make,
for sure,
it's completely different because that extra zero messes you up.
Right,
it really does.
So it's sometimes I'm happy I never experienced that, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know what that would have did to me mentally. I got a signing bonus and an injury settlement, and that was really it. I never received a game check, so I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Some of my peers played, 5, 6 years. Just think about getting that like every 5, 6 years.
And then trying to go back to like regular life.
$60K, $70K every week. And that's on the lower end. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then that's over with. Or, you tweak a knee and you didn't save correctly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now you're like, oh my, now what?
Now what? Yeah.
Now you're a free agent. No one will sign you. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of different levels and components in that professional game that a lot of people just necessarily don't really, I don't know if they don't think about it, just don't understand the dynamics of it all.
Back then too, like right now you have so many resources and people try to teach you, like, hey, save, like, plan for the future and that, but in the 2000s and all that, you didn't really have all the YouTubes and all that, or like people trying to, like, was there any resources trying to help you with the money that you were receiving?
They have a symposium, every year, and you go there and they tell you about, investments. Yeah. They tell you about...
You're not trying to hear about investments, like, wait, what do you mean?
But you have to. You have the investments, how to properly tell your family and friends no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's probably a big one.
One of the most valuable lessons, we were there, and man, there was this beautiful woman, and she was drop dead gorgeous. You know, going through and just talking to people, getting guys' numbers. Guys got their signing bonus. They was feeling good. They feeling good. Da 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 da. You know, hey, shorty, let me get your number. Whoop de whoop, whoop de whoop. This that. You know, and she came back the next day, and she got on the stage and she told everybody she was HIV positive. And you know, that was
wild.
You know, I got your number, da-da-da, da-da-da. It's going to be girls looking just like me by the bars and the hotels when you go travel. Yeah. It was just like, whoa.
She was like trying to teach a lesson.
Trying to teach a lesson. You know, you can't judge a book by its covers, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was, you know, the financial piece, the family piece, and the social life piece that they tried to, but you can't. It's hard to prepare for that. You just experience. I mean, it's just a different world, a different lifestyle.
Especially mentality at that younger age, too. It's hard. Like that mindset that you have is different than what you have now, obviously.
I'm that dude. You can't tell me nothing.
That's got crafted. What are you talking about?
Do the veterans help, or is it just like they don't have time for that shit? You know what I mean?
I think some veterans that have been there for a while try to like pull you to the side. You know, especially you got some guys that come in later around. You can see the cars that they drive. And they like, hey, that might be a little bit. You know, out your league, or you know what I mean. So I think you know, Green Bay had a good veteran base. You know, Green Bay is different. You know, it's probably one of the best teams you could save all your money at, right? Because there's nothing to do there.
There's nothing.
Right? Yeah, there's nothing.
People live in Milwaukee.
$1 million on cheese curds.
So exactly.
What's the craft beer? Spotted Cow. I think. Yeah.
What?
It's one of the big craft beers there. Spotted Cow.
Sounds like one of ours in Ohio.
Yeah. Exactly.
So from the sports.
So you transitioned into you know, being a businessman here, and you know, going back to, you said I could make more money in Columbus than I can here, and now you've spawned out like.
What did you go into?
You didn't originally get into the insurance world.
No, man. It's my first job was at Ohio Youth Advocate Program. I was making $10 an hour, and that was
one on Manchester.
Yeah, humbling. I was just like, how can I be so close to my dream and now I'm making $10 an hour? You know what I mean? It was
humbling.
Yeah, very humbling. And then I went to I take it back. Went to Yellow Freight, didn't like that. Then went to Ohio Youth Advocate Program. And then I went to AT&T and was doing, you know, telecommunication. That's when I really learned like business to business sales and, you know, sitting with people, marketing and things like that. I said, well, I like that. I didn't necessarily like what I was selling at the time. So, you know, I reached out to this girl who I went to high school with. Her name was Andrea Barletto. She was in pharmaceutical sales. And then she was like, I think you need to reach out to Al Sicard, who was a State Farm agent. You know,
not Jake.
No, not Jake, man. Jake wasn't around there, man.
Is Jake real?
Yeah, Jake real. Jake got us popping too, man. I love Jake.
Jake from State Farm.
Jake got us popping right now.
Does he really wear khakis?
Nah, he got his own style now.
That's funny because you know what's funny is everyone knows that commercial.
Everybody.
Right? It's like everybody.
It was absolutely genius.
And like our commercial's a lot better now. It used to be like kind of dull or whatever, but yeah, man, Jake. But no, Al.
Jake put us on.
Man, I called Al. Called Al, and man, and the rest is history. And you know, it's been such a good opportunity. You know, I told my buddy Tito Paul about it. He's a State Farm agent. Buddy Bam Childress, who was a wide receiver. He's a State Farm agent in Cleveland. So you know, it's been a good ride, man. And I never thought I'd be selling insurance, really, because I was kind of like, insurance, you know what I mean?
Like, insurance, let's go.
There's nothing sexy about insurance. You know, we were talking on our Scalers Only community call earlier, but it's just one of those things, like, once you get hit, like, okay, it becomes sexy.
Your definition of sexy changes as you grow, you know? Definition of sexy changes. What's sexy to you in their 20s isn't sexy to you now. You know, it all changes.
As we get older, we go through more experiences, we go through more stuff, we realize the importance of these things. You know, I was talking to you upstairs about fair housing lawsuit I was in. Like, that was nasty. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Can't expect that. I had no insurance in place. It was all out of pocket. You know, that's something that could have been avoided.
Should call Dee.
Had I had insurance in place.
Wow.
The right type of insurance.
Wow.
And so it has made me think about, because as we make money, we don't think about how we have to protect it. You know what I mean? And it's just stuff you don't think about as you continue to grow your business.
You know, I think, you could, we work for a company 40 hours, you have your benefits and, your retirement. Entrepreneurs, like, is something different. Like, your retirement is your business. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That you want to eventually, grow and sell. So bad losses, just takes away from that. And, having to pay out several $100,000s, that could...
It'll
No one
shake
likes
it.
that.
Yeah, it'll shake it a little bit.
What is your specialty in insurance, by the way?
So State Farm, so we do auto, home, life, disability, commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty
They
much
dropped me. State Farm. I'll talk with you later about that. I'm with a different company now.
I need reason.
Get you back,
Probably a
man.
reason.
Yeah, we'll get you back. Don't you worry, man. Always be selling, right? he gonna put you over here in the corner.
But insurance to me, though, it's always been, I know it's like a mentality for a lot of people, too. It's like, insurance is the biggest scam in the world because you pay out all this money, something happens, and your rates increase.
So
like, what the...
Yeah. No, it's...
But in the other side, people don't see that. It does protect you when something really big does happen. That's the thing. Like, all these smaller things might not, but you got to look at the other side, too, and that rarely happens to people, and that's what insurance is there for, right?
I see kind of like, like people, like, once they... you think about when Hurricane Katrina came, right? You think about all those people that have been down in New Orleans all those years, houses paid off, probably didn't have insurance, right?
Yeah.
Until you need insurance.
Yep.
Got so many calls. I have clients that, insured here, and like, hey, we thought we had this insured when Hurricane Ian came through. Is there anything you could do? It's like, no. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to gotta stay on point with those things. And we were talking about the umbrella, and it's just basically something that the insurance money's basically saying, hey, take our money before they get to your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's something, different layers you gotta have in place so that you won't have a big major loss like that.
Yeah, we used to see the flood insurance premiums on some of the houses we do in Florida.
South.
And I was like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, what a scam. It's like $200, $300 a month. And then when the hurricane came, I'm like,
sweet. Now I'm going to try to scam the insurance company and get the money back. It flips.
Yeah.
Well, then it was
shit.
FEMA and the insurance, going against each other. I mean, wind is a covered peril, but water came on land. But wind causes it. Wind is a hurricane. So you have both of these entities. Like, we used to be able to sell it, through State Farm, and now you have to go through a government entity, when you want that now.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I look at you from the outside. I look at you as a marketer. We were talking about this off camera, but like I look like you'll post one picture of you and your family, like you're a huge family man. You're like all America on Facebook. I swear to goodness, man. Like it's like
America.
everyone just in the house. Like my wife's like, why can't we be like that? We need to be more like them. But I'm like, dude, it's like a Christmas photo every single time. I'm just like, damn. But like to me on the outside looking in, like you're a great marketer. And so like, is there anyone you study? Is there anyone that you look up to as a marketer, or is it just something that just
like competitive drive? Yeah.
Man, honestly, I think I could do a lot more. I think I could do a lot more marketing. I look at you. I look at other people that just have that content. People follow them all the time and doing stuff like that, promoting your brand. And I'm trying to talk myself more into that. It's just, 46 is different.
It's weird. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, if I was younger, you know, that's the thing to do now. But you're constantly trying to tell yourself to be innovative. You have to eventually change, you know, if you want to be successful. So, but not necessarily anybody that I look up to. I try to, like, my goal is to post more.
Jake,
my goal is
you hear that, Jake?
And Jake has a great story, man. Jake used to be homeless. You know what I mean?
No shit.
No one knows Jake's story. We need to get him on the show.
Yeah, exactly, man.
We're bringing Jake on the show,
Maybe I can work that out.
Yeah,
work
that out.
Get Jake over here.
He's like, if I can get all these insurances, Jake's coming.
All right, we're signed up again. So.
No, but man, you know, insurance has definitely been something that I'm glad that I found, because it, you know, it teaches you financial lessons. You know, it's just not about auto and home. You know, we sell life. You know, investments. So it was something that I'm glad that I got involved with, and you know, you get all your security license and stuff like that. But it's just educational, and you know, and you like to help people out with different solutions. And it's about building and maintaining relationships. You know, I feel like I'm great at that, meeting people and maintaining that relationship. So definitely the industry for me.
But you don't just do insurance.
What are you invested in now? Like, you do teach invest. Like, what's some of your investments that you're invested into?
So I do, you know, for mutual funds.
Okay. What's your favorite investment that you have right now?
Real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah. So I love.
Yeah, that's where I was
finding a piece of property, fixing it up.
Your face is lighting up right now.
Yeah, you know, even though, you know, a lot of people, you say real estate, a lot of people think you're making hands and foot over money. They don't understand. You know what I mean? They just don't. This game will like chew you up, speak you out, right? You have a great month, and then next month you got 3 roofs and taxes is due, and you're just like, man, like.
I want that refi. Your satisfaction, like, yes,
exactly. So, but like, no, I really like finding a piece of property, fixing it up, and being able to rent that to a family that's going to respect it, treat it like their own, and you know, and I think is good business for me and the tenant. You know, I feel like I'm a great landlord. You know, when things are needed attention to, you know, within 24 hours, I feel like it's resolved. If it's an emergency, of course, it's a little bit more expedient. But, you know, I just love doing that. And honestly, I like seeing a lot of my clients say, D, we found a home. You know what I mean? We don't need to rent anymore. I feel like that's pretty a good experience as well. Yeah, for sure.
How many properties do you have?
12 properties, 18, 20 doors.
So I'm gonna start. This guy is a no debt, cash flow guy. Like this guy, like
over a few years, I didn't round up some debt though. I didn't round up some debt.
Finally, okay. Yes, we've been talking about this for how long? Gosh, like I was on a TikTok video and it's like everyone's like, oh, you own this and you own this. Yeah, Fred Durst from London. What's this Fred Durst looking dude saying? But you know, people don't understand the debt component to this, right? Like you could say, oh, I own this and its value and blah blah blah, but I mean, it's not real net.
Right.
You got debt and you got payments and people and all this other stuff. But I mean, what initially got you into the real estate bit? I mean, we talk a lot about real estate.
Yeah.
Like, what got you into that?
My dad.
I actually have never asked you that.
My dad. So I started my insurance practice in 2006. And then in 2009, my dad was just like, man, you need to be down here buying these houses up. And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, you know, you could buy these houses, fix them up, and rent to people and have income.
What year was this?
2010. Just 2009. This 2009. Right after.
Yeah.
Good time too.
Yeah, good time, right?
Great time.
And really, so, you know, 2008.
Then, but yeah.
Exactly. So I always listened to my dad, and I was like, you know, talked to Lisa, said, you know, let's try this out. And have a realtor, her name is Miss Sheila down in Springfield. And
your first property was Springfield.
Such a small town thing.
Yeah, so
everybody gets their first property in their hometown, like literally.
I think it's smart. I mean, one of the concepts I always teach is invest in your backyard, regardless of where it's at. I mean, if you're in California, in Los Angeles, maybe not the greatest thing,
right?
Or Miami, Florida,
well,
maybe not the greatest thing.
No, you know what? It could be because it's like when you play football. The best is when you play them on your home field, right?
Right.
You know your home field, you know your territory, you know what's going on. Even if it is more expensive to us, but to them, it's not.
It's like the
Sure, but yeah, you figure out your niche and you know it like your hand.
Yeah, so I mean,
but you're right. Yeah, LA maybe not.
we had the first property that I saw was a duplex, and it was bank owned. Bank wanted to sell it to me for $30K, and I was like, cool. Of course, I financed it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I financed it or whatever. So went to the appraisal, came back at 23. The bank said you can have it at 23, and that's how.
It's like, you know,
I've never had a deal like that. Ever in my entire career, I've had a deal that great.
So that's how I got into the game, man. And
second best spot. The first one was the $1 that we had.
Yeah.
Now the 23K. That's the second best deal I heard.
Hey, what'd you rent that for?
well, back then, so this is 2009, so it's like $650 per side.
Still, that percentage on that? Holy crap!
The rent was, I mean, the mortgage was $295.
I was gonna say.
Do you ever? And this is going to air in probably 2 weeks. I guess that's a long time with the Federal Reserve hiking rates and all that stuff these days. But do you foresee any of that same stuff today that you saw back then?
Nah, like everything. Just with the, and most of my properties are in Springfield, but just seeing the price increases there. Nah, I don't like it. If you pay $30,000 for something, you got to do a lot of work in it.
What's that one worth now, though?
Man, you know what? It's probably like 80. It's not in the best.
It's still 4x. It's still 4 times.
But it's
and the money you made all those years through it.
Yeah, like it's paid off. It's
Mr. Nick.
Got both sides with it now.
You want to sell it to us for 25?
No.
Come on, man.
No.
It's more than you paid. No. We'll give you 35 for it. Come on. You've had it. It's had its run.
It's more than you paid. Yeah.
It's more than you paid.
You made your money.
I got a cash flow for you. You know what I mean?
And you insure the properties too, right? Do you sell them the insurance or the renter's insurance?
Yeah, I tried not to. That could.
Oh, I would.
I mean, I do it if you want to be cool.
He's like, I don't want to do it, but I
must buy insurance from D.
Listen, a lot of checks to do every month.
It's like the cable companies, when you go into those apartment places, the cable companies sign contracts, you can't get it from anywhere else, just AT&T.
Yeah,
right.
Places like that. It's like AT&T, and it's terrible. I don't want it, but I can't switch. I can't switch. Tragic, right?
So some other stuff that you do too, man. You do some stuff for the alumni, right? And some. So it says here motivation in the. I just want to show the audience. Yeah. How do you want to be introduced?
Bio.
This is the bio on this guy right here. I'm like, bro, I can't get through all this.
You've done a lot. Like, wow.
He's like,
he's got a lot of cool stuff going on. So I mean,
Yeah. So I mean, with the Alumni Association, they have a speakers association as well, where you'll have these alumni associations all over the country that have like their annual party where they award scholarships to local people that's going to. So they might want to bring in a former football player to come in and talk and share your experience about Ohio State, and it's man, that has really been a cool experience because you just don't know how big the Alumni Association is. You hear about it, but I was in Sarasota, Tampa Bay, the Twin Cities. They were really a large group up there. Houston. And I would go to places where I had maybe guys playing at, so I can kind of kill two birds with one stone and entertain them and then hook up with my boys afterwards and stuff like that. So that was cool. COVID of course shot a lot of that down. So
Do you still keep up with a lot of players and coaches you play with?
Yeah, man. So
it's a family unit.
Yeah. A lot of us. I think that's what's good about Ohio State and the city of Columbus because, a lot of people move back here.
Yeah, to start families.
A lot of people probably not moving back to Tuscaloosa. You know what I mean? Like, after college. So
anytime you can get a chance to shit on Alabama, you go.
But a lot of guys, even after their pro careers over with, I mean, Columbus is. Man, it's a great city, and you look at the suburbs and all the growth that's going around here. Man, it's a great place to raise your family.
You tell any of them to get into real estate insurance?
How many kids do you have now?
Two kids. Yeah. Whew.
How old are they?
Busy. 6 and 8.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be 16 soon. Don't worry. I just filmed that show. They're 16. What happened? That was last week.
Oh man,
they're fun ages getting into sports.
Everything.
What are you trying to instill them then?
Man,
after being through everything you have, I mean, you have a lot of experience.
I just try to tell them to, the goal is to, be a good person in society. If you become, my son becomes a great athlete, or my daughter, that's just something that's affiliated with us. It's not who we are. Yeah. And
icing on the cake.
Yeah, man. And just kind of just always try to focus on being a leader, not a follower. I think that's important. Peer pressure when we was coming up. If you didn't do certain things, people looked at you if you're not cool, and sometimes you found yourself in trouble trying to be cool. So just trying to, just give them experience that I had, and of course, I know they're gonna, stub their toe, and they're gonna do some things. They're gonna have fun. They're gonna be kids, exactly. So, that's just about it.
What about so you said soccer, right? How do you feel about kids playing football?
I feel like it's a weird subject.
It's what I've been learning is football's taught differently now these days than when we were coming up.
Agreed.
I think back then you were looking for the kill shot. You were sparing. You wasn't hitting. You wasn't seeing what you were hitting, and it was celebrated. And now is kind of fringed upon. So like even the coaching technique has to be different.
Yeah.
You don't really see a lot of head-to-head contact anymore. I know they used to tell us to tackle, put your head in front of the body, and now they say put it in the back of the body. So,
which doesn't really work.
This is what I heard. But no, so that's it. Yeah. So I mean, I started playing in 3rd grade. Drew, I haven't let him play yet.
Does he want to?
Yeah, he wants to. But, for me, it's just kind of like, it's no rush.
Yeah.
If you got it, you got it. And, I just feel like I need to see a little bit more mental toughness out of him before I let him cross that bridge.
It's so different, like the kids, if you've played football before and just your average, suburban dad that's like, no, I'm going to have my son play, this and that. But it's like you don't even understand like what it goes through. So I think that's really important that
I was really hyped to have him start playing early. And I don't know, I just think...
would you have done it different, knowing what you know now?
That's a great question. Probably not. I probably would have started the same year all my friends did, and I just think what happened to me was a freakish accident. It shouldn't even happen. I talk about coaching. It was a bad coaching experience. How I broke my leg, but. From what I hear, Stan Jackson is coaching now. A lot of my peers are coaching, and they provide a lot of feedback on, it's not the rah-rah, let's get concussions every day, going at it. You know what I mean? Like, so
that was
Oklahoma drill.
That was celebrated. The Oklahoma drill, exactly.
Or you remember, like they used to throw the ball out, and then you'd have 3 people go. Like,
exactly.
How many times in the game does that realistically happen?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Did Urban Meyers ever play football, or was he just a coach? I don't know, honestly. I'm just trying to figure out. I feel like it's common player, like
one of those Youngstown coaches.
I feel like anyone, like the greatest coach and all that stuff, actually were like it's one of those things where you have to go through it and stuff to be a good coach. But I could be totally wrong.
Is it cool now seeing some of the people you play with, seeing like them as coaches, or like now their kids are playing?
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Yeah. Seeing Fickle, doing what he's doing in Cincinnati. I didn't play with Marcus Freeman, but to see what he's doing at Notre Dame, seeing Eddie, step into the coaching ranks.
Isn't that crazy?
So it's, my boy Mike Wiley, his son is a sophomore at Olentangy. He started to get recruited.
Winfield.
Lorenzo Styles, both of his sons, one is at Ohio State, one is at Notre Dame. Think about that situation. So, yeah, that is weird, man, and it's good to see. It's good to see.
That's cool.
So, tying in football and business, what would you say are maybe the 3 biggest lessons that you took from your entire football career that have translated into you building your business today?
Discipline, persistence, perseverance. And I think, you have to be disciplined. You have to be able to do the same thing every day that makes you successful. Whether working up, getting up at 4, working out, like you have to have that discipline to be successful. Persistence. There's going to be a lot of times where you get beat down. And that's with perseverance as well. I think looking at my football experience and the obstacles that way, when I have an obstacle in business, I can always relate to that. And I think with football, it's the grit, getting knocked down on your ass and getting back up. That happens in business all the time.
Every day.
Happens in life all the time.
Every day. So, yeah, I think those 3 traits, man, is what I learned. What I learned best athletically, that transition to entrepreneurship.
You still look like you can get out there and throw it. You work out a lot.
I mean, can't judge a book by a cover. You just said that.
Let me touch
You see him walking outside there? You didn't see that off camera.
Exactly.
Don't mess with my...
Yeah. No, I really got into... I never really lifted a lot of weights, but I got into the cycling piece.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't say CrossFit.
Yeah. No. I don't touch weights, man. But it's just all cardio. And I go to the steam room. I call that the executive workout.
I love that.
I love the steam room.
Listen, the best networking is always done with a bunch of other naked guys in the steam room.
It's that Buddhist mentality. You lose it all.
Hello, Bill. How are you doing? Doing well. Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Until he farts in the steam room, man. The Terry fart in that thing, it steams up. Not good. Terry, yeah.
Listen, I hold it in.
No, you don't. You've done it before.
I have never.
You've passed gas.
We've never even been in the steam room together, bro.
Yes, we have.
When?
When you passed gas.
Which was never.
What's wrong?
It was.
Never. Now you're making up stuff.
I'm not. It happened once. It happened once. It was definitely you.
Yeah, he was drinking on that.
I probably was. Correct.
Yeah.
I love that cherry bourbon, by the way.
That's good. I told you.
It's good. It's good.
Hey, we do a couple good things here. We do good real estate deals. We do good business deals.
And we've
got some other business deals, and we do good bourbons.
Hey, I know where my Wednesday's going to be at now.
Bring Jake. You're secured in forever.
I got to work on that.
We're gonna bring out 6 people and all just sit around and.
No, one of the and when we put together the idea of this show, there's some people that will do this in a confrontational way. We do this in a comfortable way. If we wouldn't invite you over to our house to hang out, we don't. We're not trying to put you on the show. And part of this is to expand our brand, expand your brand. And transparency is to latch onto other people's networks. Right. And, when like, and trust people, this is an old school way of doing business. When you know, like, and trust people, you want to see them succeed.
Yeah, sure.
And in turn, they want to see you succeed. And if you're, it's being funny, but the steam room conversations with the guys at the country club or athletic club, you'll find some very, very good people in there that you're like, wow, had I not been in the steam room with you, with my towel on, of course, talking to you, I would never find those people. But it's, especially in Columbus, Ohio, there's a million people that we still, it's the smallest big city.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's still people that you're like, wow, you do what?
For sure.
You own what?
For sure.
And you would never know.
That's people from the Midwest and here. We try to put that good, the good nature and the wholesomeness kind of too. That's why I'm saying if you don't have it up in your living room, you don't have it out, and spreading that with the business, that helps everyone grow, I think.
Do you still network like you, gathering the stack of business cards like you used to?
Man, I'll get the contact and still email.
Yeah.
There's VAs for that.
And now you have social media. You got LinkedIn.
Virtual cards. Facebook page.
I'm still I'm a socialite, man. I like to get out and meet people and connect with people. So yeah, I'm still after as far as like increasing my network all the time.
What do you love about the business you're in? What's your favorite part about it? Because you've been at it since 2010. I mean, that's a long time running. Most businesses don't last that long. I mean,
insurance been 2006. Real estate 2010.
Yeah.
So I mean, getting to know people, helping people. I think when you deliver a life insurance check to someone's beneficiary that just passed. You know what I mean? It's
very meaningful.
Very meaningful. So I get to meet like a lot of my peers, a lot of my clients, what they do personally. And, a lot of them been with me for 17 years now. So
that speaks cool. a lot in itself.
Yeah.
Me, I was cut, so.
I've been there too.
Hey, look, again, this is going to come out later, but big game this weekend?
Big game. A little concerned.
You got
Are we allowed to say the word game? It's got an M in it.
Yeah, it's big. Never mind.
All right, I'm not taking that bait.
No, I think it's going to be a good game, man. In Michigan, obviously, it's looked way better these last couple of years. They're very physical. Worried about that. Trenches. Last couple of weeks, I feel like our offense has kind of been sputtering a little bit. But overall, I know this. It's at the shoe. It's going to be hype. It's going to be crazy. And, I just think I'm not going to say we're going to win by a lot, but I just feel like we're going to win this game.
Yeah, a lot of people have given Harbaugh a hard time because of how he is, or they say he's a weird character or whatever. But the best thing for Ohio State is for Michigan to be good, because think about how big a game this weekend's going to be.
Man, I was like, they better not lose against Illinois last week. I was like, man, y'all better find a way to pull this out. Don't do this to it. Then we struggled with Maryland. I was
like, we were at the bar. People were rooting against Michigan. I'm like, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But who's your quarterback? 98.
Joe Germain.
Joey G.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I got two questions, and we got a fire round.
Yeah.
Who was the best player you ever played with?
It wasn't Terry Summers because he didn't make it. Just kidding.
Yeah.
There's a height requirement, okay?
That's
or against.
That's tough. Against Charles Woodson.
Charles Woodson, right?
Charles Woodson was he's the best. He's the best, DB athlete that I ever.
Did you ever line up against him?
Yeah, He got an interception against me and everything. Don't bring that up right now.
Hey, come on.
Wait, you said we can bring up that? Let's talk about that right now.
I didn't say it was open, right? No, but man, that I ever played with, that Terry Glenn was special. Terry Glenn was. He was just a special athlete and I feel like he could have been a better athlete, as far as like we talk about working out and discipline, it just came with ease.
He's just natural.
And to see like that year that he had, from, he had a rough upbringing, his mom was murdered, didn't really know his father, having to go from family member to family member and to, having to walk on at Ohio State, didn't get a scholarship. And to see that year that he had, I mean, it was rags to riches. Like, we had a front seat of it. It was, diamond earrings, Cartier frame, Land Rover. I mean, a whole lot of stuff just changed. But, as far as like naturally gifted, the way he ran his routes, the way he got open, the diving catches, TG, he was special.
I mean, I was a Steelers fan, and him and Bledsoe and Curtis Martin.
Yeah. Yep.
I see a lot of parallels in business with that. People that had to work hard, that had to persevere, that had to go to the weight room, had to wake up 4 a.m., had to do all these things. They tend to take those same traits into their business, but the people that, there's people that just things just come easy to them. They're natural salespeople. They're natural at sports. They're natural at everything, and they're just, you're like, wow, how do you have so much swag? Like you don't do any like.
Or is that what we see?
But
you know what I mean?
Right? But you have these two types of people, and I always get so pissed off because I was that guy that had to work hard, had to stay late, show up early. But then you see people just do things with ease. Do you see that a lot in the business world, where you see people that just maybe, I don't want to say coast, but because they were so talented, that talent kind of reciprocated in the business world?
I think in my business, I think I see people that, you become an agent, you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business. And just because day one you open up, like, you got to keep the doors open.
You learn a lot.
I made it. I'm an entrepreneur. I own my own business now. It's like, hey, the rent coming next month too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't want it anymore.
I see people like open it up and feel like, I made it, kinda, and it's like, no, man, no. Yeah. You got to turn it up 10 levels.
Yeah.
And it's a wake up call. It's a wake up call for a lot of people. But I have really been around few people that I see that it just looks like they skate through business. Now, on the outside, I can look at you and feel like that, right? Just because the content and everything, of course, I personally know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, you just never know what people are experiencing, you know what I'm saying, when the camera's not on, you know? But, nah, man, I'm a hard worker. We're all hard worker. Some people, if it was given to them, daddy gives son the business, they really don't understand the importance of it, and, they'd have to work hard for it. So you see that can create some laziness, but for the most part, a lot of my peers, man, they go after it pretty hard.
That's awesome, man. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do this fire round.
Yep.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Don't turn around, by the way, but I got it over here. You ready?
Sure.
All right, cool. Here we go. Practice early in the morning or at night?
Early.
Play a position you're better at or play a position you have more fun with?
More fun.
Randy Moss, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Why?
That's old school.
Jerry, he's the godfather,
sure
man.
He is the godfather.
That's why it's a fire round.
He 5'10", 5'11", 4'6".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not a 4'5", 4'4", 4'3" guy, but his workout preparation, even though he was a 4'5", he was 4'5" the whole game.
The whole game.
He never was 4'7", 4. Exactly.
Yeah, game speed's different.
Yeah.
All right. Have a third nipple or an extra toe?
Huh?
Extra toe.
You don't want that third nipple?
No.
You see his face? What? He leaned back. He went, "What did you say to me?"
They can't see it. They can't see the toe. I take my shirt off, man. They gonna see that nipple.
If I can go through the photos in your phone or read all your text messages.
What did
He's thinking, how far back?
Man.
What time period of my life are you talking
Read all
about?
my text messages.
A picture tells 1,000 words. A word just tells a word. So stick with the words.
Spendy, I got one more for you. Spend a year at war or a year in prison?
Well, that one's deep.
Man, you know what? I think I could survive a year in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to war.
Yeah. I take my chance. I probably know some people from Springfield. You know what I mean? Keep me safe.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, much respect to everyone in the armed forces, man. It's it's a decision that I didn't make.
For sure.
And I remember when the Iraq War was going on, and I thought that that was like a sophomore in high school, and I'm like, we're gonna go get drafted. Yeah, I mean, we were all thinking that. Crazy.
So what's next for Dee Miller?
Man, just hired another employee for my State Farm business, so we're growing there. And my next goal is become 100% rented with these units, man, and restructure some things financially, and then probably another year or two, we'll start going at it a little bit more aggressively with the units. I think I'm 46. And one thing I like about real estate, you're never too old for it, right? So it's just about timing and being comfortable where I'm at and starting to make that push again.
Do you see an opportunity in real estate in the next 12, 24 months, or do you think that we're kind of seeing the worst of it?
I feel like we've seen the worst of it, hopefully.
Okay.
You know, I think, you're starting to see rates are fluctuating, you know what I mean, up and down. They're starting to go down a little bit. But, as far as commercial loans, mine's always the interest rate been high. So there's nothing for me.
Used to it. So you're pretty
Used to this shit.
and even with, you bought your first place in 2009.
Yeah.
I bought my first place in 2010 and I paid 6%, and I was tickled to death to have 6%.
Right.
People are crying about 6% now, especially these young kids, 23 years old, 24 years old, they're buying the first hat and they're like, oh, I gotta pay 6%.
The commercial was 5.25%, 5.75%.
Yeah.
So it was, I think you see a lot of that on, you're getting the finance in your name, you want to lower interest rate and all that. I get that, but I'm trying to keep everything away from, me personally. So a higher interest rate, I don't really. As long as I can still get cash flow off the deal.
Yeah, that's all you care about, man. I call it the salad method, all right? So you make money in real estate 5 different ways. You make it on the spreads. Mm-hmm. You make it on the advantages that you have for taxes. Mm-hmm. You make it on the leverage. Mm-hmm. You make it on the appreciation, and you make it on the dividends, which is your cash flow.
Gotcha.
What's that got to do with the salad?
You care about the cash flow and cash flow. I look at it, more 5-dimensionally.
Yeah. What's that got to do with the salad?
I think up here it's easy for you to especially with appreciation. Like where I'm at is not a lot of appreciation. I think it's more
the flow.
It's market dependent.
What's that got to do with the salad?
It's the S, the A, the L, the A, the D.
The D,
if you were paying attention, you would have school just now.
No, his deity.
Hey, what's up? One piece of advice for everyone listening that you want to put out there.
Man,
business or
anything.
Just life, yeah.
Man, I think we just said it on the last call.
Yep.
With athletics, you're going to be as good as your preparation. If you put garbage in your preparation, it's going to show on game day, and everybody's going to see that. And I think that translates to business. If you put, garbage preparation in your business practices, your business will be garbage. And, I think you just have to be innovative. You got to be adaptive. You got to get people around you. You got to have a solid team and appreciate the wins and learn from the losses and get better.
And appreciate the real estate too.
Yeah.
Get the real estate.
Yeah.
I love
appreciate you coming, man.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
So how do we get a hold of you or anyone for insurance or anything that you're doing?
What's the plug?
www.deemiller.com. DEEMILLER.com is the website.
I love my website.
Yeah.
I want one yet.
Easy.
That was easy.
Easy?
DeeMiller.com. There you go.
That's it, right?
Love it.
Yes, sir.
Well, cool. Well, hey, we really appreciate you having you on the Scalers Only show. Anyways, guys, until next time, thank you for tuning in to the Scalers Only show, where we talk about business, real estate, lifestyle, and everything in between. Until next time, peace.